Hello again to you, our loyal Engen Pitch Polish viewers. Last week, we threw a curveball at our 4 semi-finalists and asked them to pitch in front of 3 surprise judges who turned out to be a lot more grown-up than last year's surprise panel. Tonight, though, the semi-final round starts for real. Before we kick things off tonight, let's take a look at how the competition currently stands. The last man standing from the red group is Lucky Mnigati, while the last woman standing from the green group is Palesa Mutau. Lucky and Palesa are joined in the semi-finals by Luvo Kugwana from the blue group and Victor Sables from the yellow group. This year's semi-finalists have chosen to pitch in their same group order, which means tonight we'll be seeing the pitches of Lucky and then Palesa. Now, making it through to the semi-finals of the Engen Pitch Polish competition is a big deal, not to mention pretty stressful. Before the serious business of pitching began, our 4 semi-finalists were able to let their hair down and relax a bit as they were treated to a dinner with Race Corp CEO Alon Reyes.
So, to the semi-finalists, the big day is coming. Well done for getting this far, and good luck to you all. And I'm looking forward to hearing your pitches. Cheers. 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 And cheers. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the dinner so far. I see we've got lovely dessert. We're coming now to the semi-finals and then the finals, and I'm just going to give you a clue as to what's going to be really, really important in the last 2 rounds, and that's the financials. The one thing that you all have in common, or most of you have in common, is the ability to defend your financials. How did you get to that? Why is your GP so high, so low? Why is there a difference between last year's GP and this year's GP? What is that expense? Why is that? Why have you got no rental for 3 months and then rental for 3 months? Those kinds of things. We've asked you to submit your financials, also submit your plan moving forward. We want to know what you're thinking about the future, and we want to know how you understand the past. My big advice to you right now is to know those numbers. They're coming at you in one way or another. All the judges are going to be asking you questions relating to your numbers.
Before Lucky heads in to face the judges, the Engen Pitch Polish crew recently caught up with him at his premises in Durban. Let's take a look.
Hi, welcome to Pietermaritzburg and welcome to Skuza House accommodation. Today I'm going to show you how I've turned this building, which has been standing here for 2 years, unoccupied, then turn it into student accommodation. Currently, there's 120 students who are living inside this building. Come, let me show you. Right, I've brought you into the 2nd floor. On my right hand, I've got a section which accommodates 30 students, and on my left, same number, 30 students. The reason I'm bringing you here is that the whole of this area here was vacant, and there was nothing else. All what you will see here, I had to bring it myself. The setup that you see here is exactly the same as the bottom floor. We've got communal kitchens here. We've got bathrooms which are being shared by students. We've got the lounge as well, which students are using to sit around while they are having their meals. Can you see what R1 million can unlock if we're able to turn this building, a vandalized, a dead building, from zero to what it is today? Being a landlord is tough, and being a landlord for 120 students is even more difficult. Imagine to cater the needs for all of these students. But what I'm saying to the judges is that whatever space I have here is fully occupied, which shows that I've got a drive, I've got a zest, I've got everything that it takes to win this competition.
Now it's time for Lucky to face the judges. Good luck in there, mate.
Good afternoon, judges.
Good afternoon, Lucky. Lucky, you understand that this is the semi-final.
Yes.
You understand that there are 2 minutes in this pitch.
Very well.
And you also understand that we've looked at your submission, your financials, your projections, and all the documentation. So we're a little bit more informed this time than the last.
Okay.
Right. Lucky. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pitch and polish.
Hi, my name is Lucky Mnigati from Ikahlamba Training Enterprise. I'm in the highly sustainable and profitable business of student accommodation. Currently, there's an addressable market of 7,000 beds, which will translate into 22 million rands a month. I am currently housing 220 students in the 2 buildings that I'm on a lease to buy. The income for those buildings is 7.7 million with a profit of 3.4 million rands a month currently. I have a team of employees who are looking after the buildings, who are dealing with the issues of breakages quickly as they come. I have security cameras. I've got 24-hour security guard as well as the control system using the matrix fingerprints. The 650,000 rands won from this competition will be used to add the 25% of the portion that is incomplete in my building, giving me 40 more beds, which will give me 126,000 rands per month. That's translating into 1.4 million annually. When this building is complete, I'll have a 9.2 million turnover per annum, which will give me a profit of 4.5 million rands a year. The better to entry for my competitors is that a number of landlords are not willing to convert their office spaces because of the cost and all of that. I've done it myself and I've been able to negotiate. There is a risk of fire and damage to property, and for that my buildings are fire compliant, as well as I've got an insurance for 10 million rands for the building and for the business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucky. Palesa.
Thanks, Lucky. What does your brand stand for? Ikahlamba, your company, when you look at it in the future, what would you like people to know about it? What does it represent? What does it stand for?
My brand, I would like people to look at me from somebody who made strife, who made success from somebody's money. I've started with this business with nothing. I'm at the back of somebody's success, and I'm making my own success.
And you talk sustainability. How do you see that playing out for your business? In what ways does sustainability, what does it mean for your business?
Well, it means my business is going to be here as long as there is higher education, as long as government is still funding the free education for students, because the money comes straight from the government, and it is a grant. As long as the government is still in the position to, in the program of balancing the imbalances of the past, I'm still in for a very long time.
So if that changes, or even if it doesn't, are you seeing the business looking the same as it does now, or what does it look like in the future?
Well, if it was to change, I've got plans for the 2 buildings. I've paid down the deposit to buy, and I had other plans for the buildings. So at the long run, I want to buy these buildings so that if anything happens, I have the assets so that if any other clients who are not universities are interested, then I may able. But my eventual goal is to own some of the small hotels where I can make money like still I'm making now.
Thank you, Lucky.
We've got to know you well enough now, and you've given us as much insight as I think we needed to, at least from my point of view, to determine that you have got a business that is profitable, and through this process has the potential to be even more profitable. And I agree with your sentiments around, as long as government continues to sort of support the way they do, then you should continue to be able to be sustainable. I'm keen to understand maybe a little bit more around what happens if they don't continue to support as they currently do. And perhaps what's of even bigger interest to me, now that at least I'm satisfied around your ability to generate a profit, is when you take the time out to reflect on your business, what are you seeing into the future? And it's less a brand question, it's more around about your vision for this business in the next 5 to 10 years. Because I think you're a fairly localized business at the moment. And if I think about the sort of societal impact we'd like small businesses to have, I'm quite keen to understand a little bit more about the societal impact you would like your business to have in the sort of medium term.
Okay. To respond to the social issues, I believe that property provides an opportunity for every company to build on what they call the wealth for the generational wealth. Okay, so besides this, I see this brand going towards developing into the competition of mega properties, even going to the other provinces. In fact, I've got 2 buildings in Soweto and in Johannesburg that in the next 2 years I'll start working on them. I've got an arrangement with the owner, so I'm expanding.
Okay, maybe could you just elaborate on the Johannesburg? You said you've got them. Is that you've got the ability to enter into a lease? Have you already secured something? Just maybe help us understand that.
No, I've signed a lease agreement as well with the same owner of the buildings. These buildings have been lying there for the 5 years. It's got no income. I was just waiting for COVID to give us indication where we're going in terms of the business. Then I'll start focusing on that. There's VETS, there's UJ, which I've started to look around trading with them.
Okay. You mentioned, if I may just ask one more question, just in reference to COVID, and thankfully the worst of that is hopefully behind us. But I guess what it has highlighted, I think, for many businesses is how they go about sort of pandemic proofing their businesses, if that's even possible. Have you given that any thought? If another pandemic hit, because I think your business is quite reliant on people, being present for purposes of studying, and what would happen if another pandemic had to hit?
Yeah, in fact, I think the COVID has played into my favor because a number of businesses have left buildings and they are working at home. Secondly, even if there was distance learning, you still have a challenge of connectivity because in my residence, I provide unlimited Wi-Fi, access to water and all of that. You've got students who are coming as far as 100 kilometers from the university. Their central point to be around the town is to have access to all these amenities that they need.
Okay.
So whether there is any, COVID or no COVID, I'll still be in business.
Okay, great, thanks, that makes sense.
Lucky for me, there's one thing that is not adding up for me. You speak about over 3 million rands worth of profit a year, and yet you've got these 40 beds or rooms that you still need to create. Why aren't you using your own money for that? You're not in a build cycle, so there's no cash out right now. So what's happened to your 3.3 million rand or whatever the profit is?
Yeah. in my pitch, I've mentioned that a number of landlords are not willing. What they do, they give you the building, then they say, if you want to convert it into student accommodation, do it at your own risk. So that's where the profit will go to. I've secured 2 more buildings in Pietermaritzburg. Those buildings, they need my attention, they need my money and my capital to convert them into a space which will be suitable. So I still need more money, and there is a market. As I've said, we've got papers that I've sent. Currently, there's 7,000 demand for the piece. So I'm a businessman, I want more.
A last question from me is around the risk. We speak about risk often, and I've brought this up at the dinner we had about you're in year 2 of a 3-year contract. As sitting here as a potential investor, that's my mindset right now. I'm thinking, well, maybe next year is the last year, and then it's all over.
No, not for me, not for my buildings. The edge, I mean, the thinking around the university is that they want bigger buildings, because the bigger the building, it has their problems. There is a challenge of student accommodation. So the bigger the buildings, just like mine, 120 plus 40, it gives you 160. Secondly, logistically, they've got buses that move around the university, the residences. So they know that 160 students will be picked from that point straight to they don't have to move around picking the 20 and that is in other residences. So I would say I'm well positioned in terms of my capacity, and logistically, I am solving the problem for the university.
Thank you, Lucky. Thanks for those answers, and good luck, and we'll see if you make it through to the final.
Thank you
may
very
lead.
much.
Thank
Lucky.
you.
So,
What do you think, Palesa?
He's gotten better and better at every pitch. I can't think of anything he left out. I'm clear what he wants to do with the funds. He was more confident than I've seen him in any other round.
My words exactly. Yeah. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he covered some bases which he didn't cover in previous rounds around compliance and, insurance and those type of things, which tells me he understands some of the risks associated with this business. And I thought the line of questioning around, that you're in second year and third year, I thought that was spot on. I think he answered that well as well. And it sounds like he's got a plan. I got the impression he's actually after buying these premises, which sort of could take some of the risk out. But any business has got risk. But he seems to understand his quite well. I was impressed.
Well, let's go score.
Another confident pitch from Lucky. I hope his confidence takes him all the way to the final. Instead of our usual chats with the contestants after the semi-final pitches, we decided to change things up and talk rather to the Race Corp business mentors to see what they thought about their contestants' performances. Head over to the Pitch and Polish YouTube channel if you'd like to find out what Lucky's mentor made of his pitch tonight. Right now, though, it's time for our viewer competition. Like last week, we're giving away an Evo Super Shop voucher worth 5,000 Rand, courtesy of Nedbank. The Evo Super Shop allows you to shop anything from home living, takeaways, groceries, prepaids and more, no matter who you bank with. If you want a chance to win, you need to visit the Engen Pitch and Polish Facebook page before midnight and post your answer to the question we are showing on the screen now. What is Lucky's current profit per annum? What is Lucky's current profit per annum? We'll announce the winner's name on Facebook before 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Good luck. Palesa is up next, but first, let's pay a visit to her at her business premises.
And here we are, out there. This is where the magic happens. I want to show you guys how our produce goes from farm to retailer. We're purchasing loose cabbage, red cabbage, and also cauliflower and broccoli from this amazing farm. After this, they're going to drive back to Maritzburg and offload at some of our local retailers. Mhlongo and Kangelani are busy loading cabbage, but that's not their only job. They're also in charge of quality assurance. They have to check that whatever produce we are loading is according to the requirements or the quality that the retailer is looking for. In our world, demand outstrips supply. Yes, you heard me right. Demand outstrips supply. We want to acquire a packing and grading facility and also be able to pay farmers upfront so we can unlock bigger volumes and better service our retailers. The world is opening up for AgriCool. We are really excited. I love AgriCool because our vision was to empower farmers, especially small-scale farmers, and as someone with a master's in agriculture, that's top priority for me to ensure food security and empower farmers. At the time, AgriCool was a very small startup. We had quite a few challenges. Our truck at the time, Slay Queen, had a lot of breakdowns. We didn't have an operations team, just a field team and our CEO. And we didn't have that many clients. So we worked together, we got a lot of support. And a few months later, in February or March of 2022, our revenue more than tripled and we transacted more than 1.2 million in revenue in fresh produce. I'm the only lady left in this competition. There's a reason why my nickname is Girl Power. Ladies, I'm here to represent you. The semi-finals are just a stepping stone. Finals, I'm coming for you.
Here comes Palesa to deliver her semi-final pitch to the judges. We are holding thumbs for you, Palesa.
Welcome, Palesa.
Thank you.
So Palesa, you know it's a 2-minute pitch, all right? You understand that this is the semi-finals,
Yes.
and you understand that we've looked through the financials that you submitted and your projections and all the paperwork, and so we're a lot more informed.
Okay.
Palesa, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pitch and polish.
Hello, amazing judges. My name is Palesa, a co-founder at AgriCool, a sourcing hub for food and agricultural products. Africans spend considerably more of their disposable income buying food when compared to developed nations. Zandile, the farmer, Mohammed, the transporter, Albert, the buyer, they find it difficult to find each other. This fragmentation allows intermediaries into the space, driving up food prices, increasing handling of produce, and allowing food waste. AgriCool allows these agri-players to trade directly. Albert can source cabbage from Zandile. Zandile can get transport from Mohammed. AgriCool verifies quality for Albert. We charge the farmer commission on transport and market access, and we also charge admin. In South Africa, 100 billion per annum is transacted on fresh produce. Our buyers in KZN are spending 1.9 billion per annum. In 2021, our revenue was 4.9 million for the year. We project that it would reach 21 million in 2022. Our average gross margin was 10% last year, going up to 20% in some months. This discrepancy is a result of logistics. In summer, we have high-value crops that retailers will fetch themselves on their own dime. We are also matching deliveries with return loads that are empty, which can drive down the cost of logistics by 50%. How will we achieve this projected 21 million? Our buyers have given us verbal and written demand for the next 12 months. We have 25 plus trucks in our logistics supply base. We just need to grow our supply base and improve our efficiency. With money from Pitch and Polish, we will fund farmer acquisition and unlock more produce from existing farmers. Thank you.
Thanks, Palesa. Alan.
Thanks. Hi again, Palesa. So by now we've got to know you, I think, a lot better. This is obviously third pitch, and we've been able to sort of stare a bit deeper into some of the workings behind AgriCool. And I think certainly from a personal perspective, during the first 2 rounds, I was very much sold on the personality that is Palesa and the energy that you have brought to the Pitch and Polish podium. But I think as we get sort of deeper into our own knowledge around the workings of AgriCool, the bit that's still, I guess, I'm struggling with is the sustainability element. And certainly from my perspective, so it may or may not be shared with my colleagues, but the sustainability element is really important because I think part of the spirit behind this process is to help those businesses that have the potential to be really sustainable and grow to become exactly that. So my concern is more around your guys' ability to create the scale that you need to get to generate the numbers to make you sustainable, because we have got insight now into how you've been funded up until now. So I want you to just maybe take a few seconds just to try and put our minds at ease on the sustainability side and how important sustainability is for you.
Sure. Sustainability to me is a factor of revenue growth and profitability. Something that is lacking more than growth is profitability. We have proven that when someone gives us 100,000, 800,000, we've grown our revenue 4x in the last 2 or 3 years. So we can grow. We were driving growth because we have a small margin, so we need more volumes. Now that we're getting to the desired volumes for now, we can focus more on profitability. So my answer is that I think we've proven many times that we can grow. Our next step is to prove that we can be profitable, which is our aim for this coming financial year.
Okay, thank you. Palesa?
Thanks, Palesa. Building on the question Ellen asked around sustainability, beyond the numbers, what does sustainability mean to you as far as your business?
Okay, so sustainability means that the demand we have, we can match it. And that requires us to partner more with our farmers. And that includes our existing farmers and also creating more farmers. I say this because a lot of our competitors, they rely on commercial farmers. That resource base is shrinking. Commercial farmers are exiting fresh produce or they're leaving the country. It's now more than ever important that we take emerging farmers and make them into commercial farmers. So that, for me, is sustainability.
Great, thank you. And your greatest achievement to date in this business is what?
I was very proud when we hit the million mark in Feb, but even more than that, I got a research project for Agricool partnering with ARC. And I'm very proud of that because my background is in research and I've been able to create that into business for Agricool using my personal skill set.
Great. And you mentioned you're a co-founder. The other partner or partners that you have, are they also as hands-on involved? What is their involvement or contribution to the business?
Yes, we're equally involved. The co-founder, Zamoguhle, he's the CEO, and he handles more sales and vision and just leading us. I am in charge of operations, so I have to do the financial planning and just make sure that we are operationally efficient.
Thank you.
So my lead on from there is that why hasn't he been part of the competition the whole time?
He has
Why
been.
I haven't seen him, unless he's
So
the
he
invisible
actually
man.
applied. He actually was in Pitch Polish a few years ago. I think he was one of the wild cards. And he wasn't as great as he is now. And he had many of these opportunities. It's my turn now so that I can be as great as him.
Okay. You spoke about you growing, but yet you went from 4.9 million down to 3 million last year. You said you were doing 3 million rand to the guest judges.
Okay, yes.
That was your revenue.
Yes.
So you've gone from 4.9 to 3. So how's that growth?
Okay. 3 million was done in 3 months, beginning 3 months of this year. Our financial year ends in April. So from last year, May, to this year, April, we did 4.9 million, of which 3 was in the first 3 months of this year. So we haven't gone down. That 3 million is part of the 4.9. And to show our growth of the 4.9, 3 million was achieved in 3 months out of 12.
What's your break-even turnover? At what turnover does Agricool become profitable? What's the turnover number?
The turnover number is not an exact number, but we've achieved it before. Feb and March, we did 1.4 million and 1 million. And both months, we broke even and were profitable. Why I say it's not completely a function of volume is that in those months, we can do more backhauling. Retailers are fetching produce. So that's when our gross margin went from 10 on average to 20. To safely give a number, I would say at 1 million, we can break even, but it's a function of very heavily on logistics.
Okay, so just on that, if it's 1 million, and if you're working at 6 to 8% is you spoke about is your average, so let's take the 8%, so that's an 80,000 Rand GP, which will cover your overhead. Is that correct?
So the 6 to 8%, you are looking at the commission we charge for market access. Why I spoke about logistics is that if the cost of transporting is 3,000 and we do backhauling, it can go down to 1.5, which we save. So that margin, that's why it went from 10 to 20.
Okay.
Yeah, so we with 1 million, depending on backhauling and what we do, it can go from 80,000, like you say, to 200,000.
Great, thanks, Palesa. You may leave.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, your thoughts, Alan?
I still love Palesa. I still think she's got lots and lots of energy, and intellectually she's very strong. I think I'm still just concerned about the commercial viability of AgriCool, because I don't think, and given the insight that we've had behind the scenes just to some of the numbers, I think it's a harder job to be done, and I'm not convinced that R1 million turnover is the market which they achieve that break-even point. So as much as I love Palesa and her energy and her drive, I'm not convinced of the commercial viability and sustainability, even with the 650,000 Rand cash that would come from this competition.
Valera?
Grudgingly, I do agree with Alan. I think perhaps Palesa in another business would be better matched. I am struggling a bit with the numbers in this particular business and the reliance on grants and prizes and being able to demonstrate independence from those sources of income. So, yeah, but Palesa is a candidate. Wow.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, I think we're all wowed by her and her energy, her intellect, her drive. She tap danced beautifully, asked the questions, and she handled me very, very well. Very well, I think. And that's my role, is to be that provocateur. But I agree with you. I think Palesa in a different business. I think it's sad in a way that she's landed up here, but I think it's part of her journey. This is part of her journey. So I don't think we've seen the last of Palesa in any means, but we have to score, and we'll see. Maybe she'll get through, maybe she won't. Let's see.
Palesa had to fill some tough questions in there. To hear what her Race Corp business mentor thought about Palesa's pitch, you have to go to the Engen Pitch and Polish YouTube channel. And that's all she wrote for tonight. 2 semi-final pitches down and 2 to go. You'll have to wait until next week to see how Luvo and Victor perform and which 2 contestants make it through to the final. Make sure you meet me back here at 7 o'clock next Tuesday for the penultimate episode in the 2022 Engen Pitch and Polish competition. From me, Rems Mabote, good night and God bless.